Hardscape is basically the non-living elements of landscaping. They can range from patios, a stone wall, wood arbor, or what we went with, boulders.
So what's the purpose of even putting boulders into the landscape?
You know, I think boulders look great. They really complement the landscaping, but I think what complements the boulders is putting the plants around it.
I see.
I mean, you don't want just a rock, obviously, just sitting here by itself. It's not that appealing.
Yeah.
But when you put plants around it, it looks more like it's in nature. Otherwise, it would be pretty bare if we just had rock and mulch. We needed to bring another element of contrast into it.
Makes sense.
So boulders is a great way to do that.
But how do you go about choosing what works?
And as you can see, they have a lot of different shapes and colors. It really comes down to personal preference. I would say things that I would look for is something that looks unique to you. We don't want something that's probably going to be overbearing because we are doing a lot of planting landscaping around it. We don't want the rock to look like that's a huge rock, you know, right in the middle of the yard. We want it to really blend and flow nice.
You'll want to place the bigger items in first so you can get an idea of how it will all lay out. And if you want them to look natural, you can't just dump them down. You need to dig down a third of the depth of the rock. Make sure there is weed barrier down, and then you can plant flowers around the edges. As for smaller rock for ground cover, there are tons of options, and it will come down to function and personal preference. But there are some things to keep in mind.
One of the best ways to look at the rock, because right now it's all dirty and dusty, is if you walk over to the side where it's been washed off, you can get a better feel for the color.
What's the benefits of something like this over the smaller or vice versa?
So the 2 to 4 is it's a nice rock. It just covers half the square footage. Where the 1.5 inch covers 80 square foot per ton, this covers roughly 40 to 45 square foot per ton.
We've got little kids. Would one be better for them?
I would think the 1.5 inch would be. This you can twist an ankle or slip and fall on. You know, it's not as easy to walk on. If people have dogs and they run around the outside of a backyard fence, I always recommend this because dogs won't run on it.
And for mulch,
there's a lot of different options in mulch. This is bark, it's actually medium bark. And the one thing about the bark is that it is bigger chunks and it's light and the wind can blow it away. If it's in the yard, you get a lot of wind. Also water will wash away, it'll float, it's very buoyant. The product we're gonna go with is the Cascade Cedar in your yard. Binds together and it holds down, doesn't blow away too well, and it doesn't wash out much either.